posted some pictures when
the $24 breakfast.
Oh, down and bought a rooster.
Yeah.
COC. Seafood. Yep.
You're going back to the 80s.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Yeah. Seaboy. Yeah. I was in high school. Good food though. Fish
I
dinner.
think there's been a couple different types of restaurants.
Yeah, it's been a couple Italian places since then.
Yeah.
I just recently heard it was called breakfast.
Yeah, it's good. I just wonder if they're not the same people. Because the breakfast takes them for breakfast and lunch and dinner. It's all kind of the same kind of work, you know.
Breakfast is that Telling's.
Oh, I know, I wanted to say about that.
It's pretty good. For like under $10 you get a good breakfast.
Yeah.
We've got this one, we didn't get the other one.
Oh, okay.
For some reason our computer froze.
Homemade bread and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for breakfast, yeah. The weekend. We had to wait in line one day. No. But it's good food.
Yeah, that's the one.
Starts with review,
Okay.
page 1.
Well, I guess we're good to get started then. So, welcome back everyone. Hope you had a good long weekend last week for those that weren't here, and a good weekend this weekend. We had a interesting class last Wednesday. Online we had technical difficulties. Apologize to those that are tuning in that had trouble with that. We're still working to make last week's material available to review for those that weren't able to see it. And it was also our first attempt at an immersion style course where we mostly stay in the language, though we broke out a few times there, especially once the computer issues were breaking out there. But does anyone feel like explaining what we did a bit last week for those that weren't a little bit of what we did and maybe what you thought about that kind of experience as well a bit there? Does anyone feel like sharing a bit? Go ahead there.
Last week we were basically trying to connect the words with an action. So I found that it was actually sticking in my head more so because through the week, instead of chair, I would think what it was.
Oh, yeah. I'll give a brief explanation of what we were doing last week. So we were, the method's known as total physical response. We're kind of performing actions as we say the words, when you hear the words. So, like if I were sitting on a chair, I'd say Buzzagui, and then I'd get up, and then I would show that, and everyone else would take part in as well, and then there might have been sit down, and we went through the words, and then we put it in different orders, and so that's what the review here is. I put the words that we worked with. Yeah, that's what we were doing for those that didn't catch last week or weren't able to tune in there. So, we'll be giving it another shot on Wednesday there, building off of. I'll be introducing a new set of building off of what we worked on last Wednesday and adding a new set. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it put any of you out of your comfort zone or not. Learning it like that, or but part of it's just trying to build the auditory and your listening skills, staying strictly in the language, and then like that was mentioned, putting actions associated with the words as well there to kind of help remembering some of it in that. So that's pretty much what we did last week. So I guess we'll review some of those words there. So basically, most of the words we're all using are commands there. So. And let's see if there's a better mark. Oh, from last week, does anyone remember what Buzzagui and the Mother Bay? From other classes as well.
Does that stand out?
Yeah, Buzzagui. So without the end, what would that make it there?
Just standing. Yes.
Who's standing?
Somebody. Me? Am I standing? Can I say that?
No, that would be
Or he or she is standing.
here. Yeah. So without the end, they're he or she sentences, or and that's the thing. Like the it looks like a word, but it's also like a self-contained little sentence as well. There, like Buzzagui, it's he or she is standing. It's a short little sentence as well there. And then when we add since we got colors to work with, when we add the end to it, it makes it the command there. So Buzzagui is telling you to stand there. Then the Mother Bin telling you to sit. And then we just went through those actions there, and then we started adding nouns as well. Like, anyone remember this one? Probably win. Yeah, a dope one. What else do we have? Oh yeah, over in the corners there. Just go on down. And over there.
Sunset.
Almost. That would be the wall with the one over there.
So she's really down.
Okay.
Wasatch gun for the window, and
Yes.
yeah, Wasatch gun. So we were just connecting little things like that. We say Anishinaabemowin to walk to the door. Danganan, dope one, touch the table. Well, so we were just reviewing what we did last week and that, and what we were doing last week, and I asked if anyone felt like sharing, like what it felt like. I don't know if you wanted to add any of.
Yes, I came home and I was saying commands to my kids. No, it was great. And I have an app called on my iPad, so there was a lot of things that were similar. Just the pronunciation might have been a tad different, but it helped during the week to work on that.
Okay, cool. So just briefly go through what we were doing here. I don't know if you didn't catch the earlier lessons before that, which were the more grammar ones, but I was going through the commands there again. I guess if you were just to look at this chart, you would see how what's going on here. I'll catch you up a bit if you're not too familiar with the notes.
So as far as I know, like the bisegui would be the verb, and the bisegwin would be directly asking someone to do that, the imperative form.
Right, the command imperative, right. So without the N, I'll add another verb up there. Which one are you? Okay, we'll go with this one since so like that.
To jump.
Yeah. You know who's jumping at that one?
Myself. I am jumping, or she is jumping?
Yeah, she or he is jumping.
Okay.
And then when
And
I
then
add,
washquanin would be jump.
yeah, telling you to jump. You got it there. So we were just going. So yeah, that pretty much covers what we did last week. As I said, we'll be going through this again, keeping it fresh there on Wednesday, and then I'll be adding a new set to build off of that. Right, so we're gonna go back to working on our VAI verbs today, which are pretty much just self-contained actions. Offhand, anyone remember what these three guys are?
I, you, and he, she.
Yeah, so which one would be which there?
I is the nin, jin,
Oh, the double I's is a long E sound there.
neen.
Yeah.
Jin, neen.
Yeah. So it's a pretty consistent pattern when you're working with these kinds of verbs there. So they get a little shortened. Verb. Does anyone want based on I think on page 2 I got a few example VAIs in there. Does anyone want to take a shot at I guess conjugating all three conjugating one verb into three in an I, you, and he or she sentence form? So if I were to say, I fly idea how to put it into here.
Ni bimese.
Yeah.
Bimese. Ni bimese.
Yeah, then bimese. How would you, if you wanted to make it you or gin?
Ki bimese.
Bimese. And then if it's being or he or she.
Bimes. I don't know. Bimese. Eh?
Oh, just bimese and
Okay.
he or she
Bimese.
flies there. Anyone else feel like trying a verb there? I don't remember why there's a little M there, or
Put both of the words together.
yeah, it just kind of connects it. It's not really like there's no strict rules yet. Like Ojibwe is not standardized. Often it's common to see an M put in before like a B word, where it just kind of connects connects it a little bit. So like then Bimise and then Bimose and then Buckade. But you don't have to really put the M. It's just you might come across it in some literature. So just exposing you to it. It could be just like the Bimise as well, or in Bimise. Different ways that you might see it there. Like sometimes you might see it more like an in. Sometimes you might see it a fuller in. Other times it might even be like barely audible N sound. A lot of fluent speakers there, they really vague with that N sometimes. Sometimes it's being said like barely audible, especially when they're rapid fire there. So you gotta be paying attention if you get the opportunity to interact with speakers there. But and these are all good, valid ways to do it there. Just usually it's teacher preference. Myself, I'm pretty inconsistent with how I write them there. Usually this is how I feel, I guess.
How would the gin be spelled as you're going down in those other
The gin there? Or the gin? So gin. Yeah, gin is a lot more consistent than the Iowa, and this one's the most variation on it. Pretty much you're either going to see it as GI or pretty much just a G. Some dialects will actually make that sound a K as well there. K. More, especially the more northern dialects there, you'll notice that it'll be more of a keen instead of a geen. I'll come back to the K again as well there. It's going to come up again later there, but those are some of the variations you might see. The he or she, yeah, that one's pretty much just leave the marker off in the present there. We'll be getting into tense markers later on there. So you can start learning how to make past tense and future tense there. Well, I guess we got a few up there. Does anyone else feel like trying to fill in the blank there? Or? Oh, almost there. Say it one more time there.
Ningi Boppy? Bop? No,
Oh, yeah, the Bob. And then Gee. Oh, I think you jumped ahead a bit there, but I'll write it down though so you see it.
sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Are we on the N or the G?
We're on the end still, so
Okay.
you added the little Gee, Bob.
We've got, okay.
Yeah, so that's past tense, and I'll be explaining that shortly there. So, but that's good there. You remember to take the I off at the end there. Some verbs have a short vowel at the end, and those are on there for the he or she there, but they come off for person, second person there. So, then Bob or Bob. Then what happens if you put it into the he or she?
Maui?
Oh, no geese yet there. We'll,
Okay.
we'll come
So
back
we'll
to
go
the
to
geese. Oh yeah, on the page two. So if you were just looking at the word, like without really going in the notes here, if you were to look at this word here and you wanted to conjugate it as a he or she, you remember what, it'd be just a small change to it there.
Pape. Pape.
Pape. That's where that little I comes back.
So the I sounds like a
The single I is like a more of like a guttural kind of like, whereas the double I's are like a double E in English there, like a E sound there. That's what the double vowels in Ojibwe usually make it like a longer. If you see them, just kind of remember to pronounce them longer. Like I'll write them down quick there just for. Because there's only 3 variations. So if you ever see those, just remember to say them a little bit longer. Like that'd be like an E, that'd be an ah, that'd be, depending on region, it'd be O or oo. And then if you were to put the and they become short there, just like a o. Something have it more like a o sound. That's pretty much all the. And there's, I guess this one throws you off a bit. The single E is considered a long vowel too, like an a or eh sound there. There's no short E, so those are considered the long vowels. It takes time there. Like it took me a while. I remember my first year. Just keep sticking to it. Sometimes go back to the start, review the sounds, how they work. I think in the first week there's a few examples of words to connect them with, how to pronounce it, and then you just keep going through it, and eventually you pick up on it. Like it's kind of just like learning a. It's tricky because we're often associated with the English alphabet, but then you learn that it's kind of a different code there, and it becomes more natural as you move on, kind of thing. So, I guess any other. We got 2 I sentences, or we got one he or she. Does anyone feel like taking a shot at the game?
So can you say gi wekwitan? So like wekwitan would be turn.
Yeah, that's the
So
command.
can you say gi wekwitan? You have to say ah
Yeah.
at the end, like it's a double A. So do you cut that off?
No, that would be on there.
Gi wekwitan.
So that translates into what?
So you, sorry, the name is me, the gene is you.
Yeah.
So you jump. No?
Oh, that
Or
was
no,
not
you
done.
turn, you turn, you
yeah,
turn.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah, good job. Yeah. Sometimes a little code there. Try not to. As we move on there, I hope like this becomes more. People like it just becomes automatic there. But for now, we'll keep it. Actually, what I might do now is I'll probably stop using the IU, he or she, and I'll probably start moving towards these terms. I might say first or second person there, which is referring to these there, just to, I guess, start ingraining to make it more natural, to move past the English equivalents there, and just to help you guys' ears out and stuff there. So, any other, anyone else want to give it a shot before we move on to the next? because these patterns there will pretty much be working with them for, as you'll see, like the little pieces that will be able to move around and, so. We'll take one more and then we'll go to the next one. Anyone feel like trying it out there? Anyone, Neen, Geen, Agaja, Ween.
Givisnin.
Yep. Do it once more with the emphasis on the double I there.
Gi.
Oh, that's a short I and the G.
Ge.
Repeat the first part of the Wiesenen.
Givisnin.
Yeah. And one letter at the end there that's. You have the, almost there. So this is what we're doing right now. So we have a few things going on in there.
Givisnin.
So just a quick review of this thing here. So that we have there's an extra N at the end, so it's currently in command form, well, conjugated as so if you were to change it into just he or she does, what do you change on the sentence there? Yeah, so that's what makes it a command, and then as you get rid of that, this I would come off as well there. Since that's in the third person conjugation, so want to say it once more there?
Givisnin.
Oh, almost.
Wisin.
Yeah, that's it. Gewisen. UE there. Gewisen. So since we got that, anyone want to try the third person? He or she, Wien?
Miss Wisnin.
Almost there. So once it's back in the third person, it becomes we. And then when you have it in the either ne or ge, that I wouldn't be there. So just gewisen or gewisen. And then when you're telling it's wien, wisen. And slowly you'll see it'll become more natural as we go through it there with the. Yeah, those are good for now there. Let's see. That's just the review of the we'll go. We briefly went through this the first week. I didn't have it in the notes though, so we'll go through it again.
Oh, your mom asked a question.
Oh, yeah.
Would it not just be Bape for he laughs?
Yeah, just bop it.
Okay.
And then bop or get bop for I laugh or you laugh. So I'm guessing that means that the sound's working so far for everyone over there.
Yeah, mom said it was cutting out now and then, but
Okay, but it's not as horrible as last
Yeah.
week. Okay.
just the internet connection maybe.
Okay. Does anyone remember this coming up at all on the? No.
He's asking asking a question to somebody?
Yeah, so now that we know these, are the,
The are you?
yeah, so now that we know how to work with these, we could, play around with the puzzle a little bit there, and, so, since we worked with these in there, let's take a look. So this as it is, what does that make it currently there?
Is it eating?
Yeah, so,
So it's like you're
right, now that I add this,
are you eating?
right, so all you gotta do is add that little no at the end and it becomes a question there, so.
How do you, the bimosen is when you're asking something or you're saying walking.
Yeah, that's
But
the imperative or command.
How's the, like if I'm putting it in the mi bimose?
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it, just
Mi
the,
bimose, gi bimose? No.
just shorten the ni and gi to ne and gi. When you're
Okay.
saying, yeah,
Okay.
when you're saying it like that,
Okay.
yeah. Nibimos, yeah, nibimose or,
Gibimose.
and then just bimose for the other.
And then if I wrote na, would be the, would be are you walking?
Right.
Okay. Gibimose. When you say na.
So if you're talking to someone, how do you ask in the conversation if he or she is being is verbing or something? So if you were to take any of these on page 2 and to try asking if he or she is oh, say it again. Oh, almost there. That's a good one to work on here quickly.
Nothing.
Yeah, are you going with the short and like the middle one or the one first one? Okay, so that's the Eastern style one. That'd be Naki. Put both here because okay, so it gets a little trickier with the Eastern one because like there's the short vowel in the front's missing there, so but sometimes this little thing that's gonna come up there it still shows up anyways. So usually if you have a short vowel in the front of the verb there, does anyone remember what comes up in there to connect it? Right. So the Gidano key or yeah. Some Eastern dialects will also add a do as well in there, like Gidona key. It's pretty similar to what's going on with the. Most of the time you won't really hear the do. I think what's going on is It's just kind of connecting with what's going on in there. So, yeah, so if you're working with and you see a short vowel in the front, just remember the D connects it in there, so get that on key. And I'll keep working with examples over time to make that become, it'll eventually become more natural to remember kind of thing there.
People speak like Eastern and Western mix.
It's hard to say, because we're kind of like, Sault Ste. Marie's kind of the middle region, between the east and the west, and it's not really as well documented, so I'm not sure how the middle dialects kind of fit into all of that yet there, but the main areas, like you're speaking with someone from east of Sault Ste. Marie, Manitoulin Island, and that'd be known as the eastern regions and that, or eastern dialects, and then usually west of Sault Ste. Marie start getting more into the western dialect regions there. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Lake of the Woods area. But even once you get into there, there's quite a few little differences as well there. So like, I think I mentioned it briefly there, like it's kind of a really binary or like a vague categorization of making it east and west, but it just gives an idea of like some of the main difference is basically going off of the two big dictionaries of the Minnesota dictionary and the Eastern dictionary, and you pretty much come across those little differences within them. Probably next week I'll show you how to go through those dictionaries and how to spot some of those differences a little more kind of thing. For the most part, like you're able to work with either one. I'm just trying to expose you to a little bit of both in case you come across one speaker from either region there, and just so you know what's kind of going on if you notice things being a little different there. Otherwise, if I stick it to one there, I know a lot of learners get kind of put in an awkward spot there without really knowing what's going on kind of thing at times there. That's just a brief.
So Eastern would be, no, so would be Gidunak Kena.
Yeah, Naki, Gido Naki na. And then with the western one, Gidano Ki. And then yeah, with the Na at the end. I should show another variation of Na. Again, more western style, but sometimes I'll add that short vowel in the front there. Not that that's not. In that's another feel like well, we didn't do a third person question yet there. Queen is doing something.
Bimos.
Colors.
Ween.
So when you're the Mosena, you don't have to add the ween when you're putting in the sentences. Conjugating it, so that's good that you added it though. So, you're familiarizing yourself with it. That's pretty much how you ask a question there. So. show you how you could respond to that.
So it's always enough and it's third person instead of just enough.
Oh no, that was more of a dialect difference. That I in the front of the enough.
Western to Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the I in the front are off. It's not doesn't really change anything there. It's just more. You might notice the speaker will draw it out a little longer or shorten it, kind of thing. There. So that's all that's going on with the and Anyone remember these guys offhand there? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I went over it at all in an earlier class or not, but there's maybe I did. There's some dialects in the West where they say that the men will respond with and the women will respond with they. I've personally never encountered a gender distinction among speakers yet there, but I guess there's some in Minnesota that communities where the men will respond and the women will respond they. In the East, I mostly heard the West, like around Fort Francis area, Minnesota, I've heard both, but it's really common in Fort Francis, west of Thunder Bay area, for them to say man or woman. They're not really. Like I said, I haven't personally encountered the gender distinction there among speakers for using that. So. Pretty much the pattern for this one was just that's pretty much and you just add the verb in there, so like if I were to ask questions in here.
Any boppy?
Oh, say that again.
Any boppy? Any boppy?
Oh, nibop.
Any boppy?
Oh, you're adding one. What letter are you adding in there?
And the bop.
That's it.
Yeah.
So if I get bop na, if I were to ask you that, na, how would you respond? But I don't know, what else would you add after that?
If you're asking.
Yeah, get bop na.
Okay.
Get bop na. I'm asking, get bop na. And if that's directed at you, how do you make it? How do you express yourself there? What with criteria there?
Well, I didn't say that first.
Yeah, I was just trying to get you to repeat it there.
Oh, okay.
So you give up na.
Give up. No.
Oh, going the give up na, and then now that I directed it to you, Now you gotta respond from, so I'll put the little marker here quick.
Say again?
Not for what I'm asking there, so give up in how would you say that? How would you? What? Oh, you had it the first time then. What is? You just respond with what's written here, pretty much there, like and nitbop, nit,
And then Bob?
and nitbop or nimbop or inbop. That nit is what's making it the I.
Oh.
So the
Or-
git,
You.
bop, na, are you laughing? And then and then bop, yes, I'm laughing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if I were to ask, Gebakade na, Gebakade na.
Why are you laughing?
Oh, different verb there, bakade. I'll get on page 2, I think. Oh wait, I might be jumping here. That's a good, oh yeah, it's
See it?
there.
It's at the bottom of page 2.
Very true. It's a good word to know. Yeah. So gebakade na, are you hungry? If you were to, how would you respond if you are? Gebakade na.
Nibakade.
Yeah, good. Well, this one's gonna be color coded. We could use the other one.
Say, Nibakade.
Yeah, gebakade na.
Nibakade.
Okay, good job. Since this came up, I'll give a quick little annotation on that as well. Most will understand you that you're saying that you're hungry. There's some communities where bakade means like he or she is skinny. So I've heard of stories of some speakers where a really big guy. I think in the story there, the speaker is from the east talking with someone from the northwest, and the big guy said "Nambakade," and then the guy looked up at him and was like, "What the heck?" This really big guy saying he's skinny there. So the way those communities would say it would be. I don't know if you want to add that to your notes on the paper or not there, but non de the communities that don't understand bakade as hungry, they use non de skade. Non de skade na. Are you hungry?
That's mostly Western.
That'd be more northwestern, like northwest of Thunder Bay kind of area,
Okay.
like Sioux Lookout, Lac Sioux.
So you put the A, ni in front of it,
Oh,
or just?
yeah, if you wanted to, like I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. Nibakade.
Non descade. Bakade, magazine non descade. That's just another little simple little things you could add to your everyday vocabulary if you see someone. We didn't do too many emotions or feelings yet, but like you're getting to those soon there, so you could go give in Wayne them and are you happy and Wayne them. Bakade na and bakade, yeah, I'm hungry. I don't know if anyone else feels like trying this pattern or not, or pretty good with that for now.
I'll try one.
Yep, okay. Go ahead there.
Ni min wendana.
Oh,
Ni min wendana.
okay.
Or wait, that I started wrong. Wait. Ni min wendana.
The way you're asking it
Oh,
there
gee.
is
Gi min wendana.
what were you asking? Do you know what you were asking before that then?
Am I happy?
Yeah.
I was asking before. Gi min
Right.
wendana.
So
Are
this-
you happy?
so at first she was saying nah, and then it makes it a little hard for us to answer. Are you? So if you wanted to respond to Given Wayne them, no.
Oh, I'm so excited. Eya, gi min, or eya, ni min wendam. Ni min wendam.
Better at writing sideways. Yeah, and the men Wayne them. Yeah, good job. Given Wayne them and yeah, the men Wayne them.
Sounds so easy.
So, and all it is like just repeating patterns, and then the more you practice or hear it, the more it starts slowly catching on. Everyone's good with that for now, or does anyone else feel like giving it a try there? Or actually, we'll go into because we're still going to be working with this stuff. We're going to add a little more dynamics to our sentences here. So. I might just do the one there since already. So we'll just do this one. So he's pretty much your past tense marker. The way Ojibwe works there, if you're trying to express a certain time frame or you have a tense marker that you slip into the sentence there, that makes it that kind of sentence. So you were saying a few of them earlier. Do you remember?
Yeah, for the now present,
Right.
like the
Yeah.
first, second present.
So, if you were to try doing it offhand, where would you put the "gi" into the sentence there?
At the beginning?
Oh.
At the-
Right at the very beginning, or
Oh, no, in the middle.
right? Okay.
Not like, relax.
Following the,
Not,
following the personal pronoun. We'll start with.
Thank you, Buffett. Buff. Hi.
Yeah, you're getting it there. So we'll just start with the first person.
He's happy, but he's hungry.
So we'll start with the Neen ones for now. So you. Say it once more there.
As in the first person?
Yeah.
The first person? Ningi Bop.
And that translates into what?
That translates as Isla.
Yeah. So some of the other things I'll put in variations again there. You might see it like this. For now, I'll probably just keep writing it the fullest way, and then it's just easier to subtract than to add on afterwards. So these are all ways that you might see it written out there. Anyone else feel like trying the?
Yuki Bop?
Oh, yeah, I'll put it on there. You went to the next person there for, so that, what were you saying there?
You laughed.
Great. So we'll do a few more on the first, and then we'll go back to we'll go to the next in there. So, anyone else want to try
So how do you say the first?
this one?
Yeah.
Ngi Ba.
Nimgi. So if I said Nimgi, Niba.
Oh, Ngi.
You stood.
Oh,
Or it's the verbs. Like
Right.
Nimba-win.
great. Yeah. Okay. So say it once more there.
Nimgi. Niba.
Almost there. So,
Yeah.
Bali?
well, that's
It's a
W.
W,
there.
so how
Yeah.
do I say that?
So that's gonna make it like an ow kind of sound there.
Niba.
So, yeah, and
Okay.
Ngi Bao.
Niba.
I stood.
Okay. So a verb that ends with the I, would you do that? You don't, like, you take off the I.
Right. So say it again. There.
Ningi, guashkwan, guashkwan. Just such a different music.
There's a tune here.
It's different music.
Yeah.
Different
Ngi Wash one. Yeah.
Nagi, gosh, nagi, gosh,
Wash one.
Haunted trail. We watched.
What does that mean?
I jumped.
I'll give you a new word for spirit of the haunted trail.
Okay, it was really great. You guys should go and check it out because and I went during the day.
Zegas. Zegas. I was scared.
How do you say the
It
ZH
was
together?
creepy.
The ZH should be a
Yeah.
Like a J.
All right.
almost because there is a J sound too, like a
There's
J,
no H, right?
but
So-
the ZH would make it like a slide it more like a J. Yeah, because like the
G in French.
yeah, it'd be like a French J. I'll show you that. That'd be like a jaw, and that'd be like a jaw. I think I noticed that if you would put the thing G sometimes like a J sound, but it's not ambiguous like in English where sometimes a G is soft or hard. It's always G is always hard in Ojibwe there. Jaw. And then J would be the jaw sound. So Ojibwe will trick you a lot there, but not with the letters there. So these things you could always trust that they'll always be consistent there. It'll always be a ga and it'll always be jaw. But, it will trick you at other times the further you advance into it. Though.
Is there a plural?
Yeah. We'll get into that pretty soon there. I'll start introducing the plurals there. I'll just get you guys comfortable with this first before we start jumping in. Because there's negative too, which changes everything as well there. So I'll get you guys comfortable with this stuff and then we'll start and also like usually the H would like Shaw. I think there's that chart in the first week there, like if you ever just feel like going through it, and it helps build your vocal muscles and get your mouth all worked out for pronouncing. Helps out there eventually. It helps with learning how to read it there and to sound it out. And so go back to a few more. If I were to say Gi Bakade na, what am I asking there? Almost Gi Bakade na.
Or are you?
Right, yeah, past tense. So if you were to respond to that one,
Yeah, G bucket.
what say it?
G bucket.
Yeah, well, just say the first one again there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're good job on adding. Okay, yeah.
G bucket.
Great, so I don't know why I didn't.
say that once more.
So if I'm saying. So the present tense would be, are you hungry would be. What if you were asking me? I was hungry.
Like in the present,
Yeah.
get bucket day and
Ni ba ka day na? And I would say, kaya ni ba ka day? I
Yeah.
am hungry.
yeah, just the short
Ne.
guy there.
Okay. And then, so this is the past tense. So
Yeah.
were you hungry? I was hungry.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Nigri?
and sometimes, like once there's an actual speaker there, like it probably would sound closer to like a barely audible end sound. Mostly getting you to overemphasize it to familiarize yourself with the NI being in there, but maybe there's times where you probably like might not even really hear that the speaker, even though they're referring to. It might just sound like a gee buckety and they're saying I was hungry. Just to help you out for now, they're getting you to emphasize the so. Since we're on here, another thing that sometimes happens with keep up with so it sound like that. I'll keep writing it that way just so you become more familiarized with like the gain and like you can see like there's the gain with the past tense gi there and stuff like that. And if you ever get a chance to interact with the speaker there and then you notice that they actually say more like keep bucket day and just kind of go with the flow with them kind of thing there. And yeah, I guess just trying to familiarize with codes I guess that you're seeing in that. Yeah.
Key.
Like this one here?
Yeah.
Or, it's just,
Slang.
it's this, yeah, rather than being like a gigi, it just kind of almost like the two G's almost like blend to become like a key. It just means like it's just the U past tense. I spell it out like this, but you might hear a speaker say it like that kind of thing. Sometimes I'm doing yeah, I'll save the indefinite future for next time. That should be good for now because I want to show you this. Where is it? So you can review it in the notes here. I put it in there if you want to get ready for it. Indefinite future. But on page 4 there's this. It's a website as well as an app that you can put on your phone. I didn't go through it in the first class with the list of apps. Last week I started putting together materials on it, and so I put the information on here. It's called memorize.com. It's a free website. You just gotta sign up to it, and then once you register and sign up, you get access to the courses on there. It's a pretty big site full of all kinds of courses. You could learn other languages on there as well, and there's quite a few other people that put Ojibwe courses on there. So I've taken what we've gone through in this class, and you're able to. It's on both Androids and iPhones as well as iPads if you have those. So you just download the app, and then you actually got to go on the website first on your computer and start the course. When I searched for it earlier manually, I couldn't find it, so I have the link to click on it if you're having trouble with it. And then once you start the course on the computer, it shows up on your phone. And then it's called Michipicoten First Nation Ojibwe, and then it's just a cool little practicing kind of app there where. So I've added audio to it as well there, so you can hear it and see it there.
Anishna. Nishin.
Then you get multiple choice there. So how are you? click the appropriate one.
Anishna.
And then it's asking which one's good, so you pick mission.
Mission.
And then yeah, I'm good.
Limin oya. Bama pigi gawabamin.
And then it starts teaching you the next one. And so yeah, it's cool on the phone there. You can play with it on the go. If you're on the computer, you get a little more. So I got the audio on the first week. I'll be adding audio to the other ones as we go there, and I'll be updating. I have the first 2 weeks of material on there that you could test yourselves and review on it. So you have the audio on there, as well as you'll be seeing it. I'll probably be putting some other ones on there, pictures eventually as well there to start associating words with images rather than the English words, just to help you guys practice with that stuff a little more. But for now, yeah, like there's a lot of. I'm pretty sure that everything that we were doing today there will be on there. A lot of it already is. At the end of every month there, I'll take everything that we went through and put it into one kind of it's not going to be a test kind of thing, but like the same idea of a test where it would be like kind of reviewing everything, and then you could just, since we're an informal group there, it's more like for your own, the more time you put into it kind of thing, the more you'll, just kind of complimentary to the course kind of thing there. And I noticed one of the things that at a beginner trying to learn there, often you don't have access to easy audio to hear things there, so that should help with some of that there, to hear the words there whenever you want kind of thing there, and start familiarizing yourself with the sounds and how to write it and the spelling and that kind of stuff. So if anyone has any trouble getting on there, registering, just send us an email at the ALI, or get me on Facebook, just shoot me a message and I'll help navigate through any of that. And if you notice any, some of the audio files are off, or something's missing an audio file, or like when the other ones have it, let me know and I'll fix that kind of stuff up there, and I'll be updating that as we go on to help you guys out kind of thing. So, I guess with that, I'll open the floor if anyone has questions. Or
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, in getting this app on your phone, which one of these that are listed on the paper, the first, second, third, or fourth?
The two last ones are the
Two
apps.
last ones
there.
are the apps?
Yeah. So you're an Android user?
Yeah, Android.
Okay, you use the last one, like the play.google.com store one there. And then,
So you gotta go to Google Play Store apps.
yeah, wherever,
Because I tried in memorize.com in Ojibwe. It came up, but then it says this doesn't exist.
okay. Yeah, we had to activate it, like, let me know if it's not showing up for you, and if I'll correct all that. But yeah, I don't know I've never interacted with an Android though, so
Yeah.
wherever the App Store is there, see if you could find the app, and then to get it on the phone though, you got to go on the computer and start the course on there. I'll be sending another email with all these links there, so you could click it on the computer easier and that. And then also, yeah, the search up when you go on, there's a course thing there, and you could search, type in Ojibwe, and there's quite a few other people that have made courses as well. If you feel ambitious to see what else is on there, there's a lot of great stuff in courses. I use some of them too still, like there's beginner level stuff, more advanced stuff. There's vocabulary lists, like one course is like 100 VAIs there to add to your vocabulary. And if you're into Ojibwe syllabics, someone made a course on how to learn how to read syllabics too there. If you're into that stuff, I started, and I was just scrambled my head too much there. I'll eventually try learning the syllabics again there, but yeah, if you're into syllabics, there's a cool little course on there to help learn that. Yeah, explore. There's some cool stuff on there. free to use. Can make your own courses too if you want to make your own little things to test yourself to review and that, or yeah. So I guess we'll pretty much end it there. So miigwech again for coming out. Miigwech Random. See who's Wednesday who's ever able to make it there.
One question.
Yep.
Some of you may have heard this, like as Native people, but sometimes they'll be talking and then it's the sha and the a that make me think that. Sometimes they'll go, hey, or whatever, like when they're laughing, or
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like sha.
Oh, yeah.
Does that have any meaning to it? Like, is that...
It'd just
Or
be
is
more
it
like
shy?
I'm trying to think of equivalents there. Like
Yeah, I wonder if it translates to anything. or
it'd
if
kind of be
it's-
more like just weird noises that we most languages have, like
The Canadians got a.
then a lot of French people, toilet, and like, that literally means like you there, but like they make weird noises, shot. Stataha or Taya. They sometimes they don't have like a literal meaning. They have like I can't remember what they call those emphasis or yeah.
That's awesome.
Or like some translate it as like holy cow.
Just before the end of the week.
Holy cow, you see right through. Well, different holes.
Anyone online have any questions there?
Nope.
Everyone's good? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Chris would say, bonjour, JP, bon valet, bien organisé.
He doesn't have time to eat supper before he comes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's why we're on the run.
Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna go eat now. I don't like to eat before class.
You're more alert.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get sleepy.
Yeah.
He phones me on the way home from work. Put my jeans on the bed. I'll be home in a minute.